There, welcome to my channel. In this video I'd like to discuss Saturn in the 11th house, transiting Saturn in the 11th house, and what it will mean for Pisces sun sign, but also Pisces rising or ascendant sign. And Saturn will enter the sign of Capricorn, your 11th house, December 2017, and will spend there 2.5 years approximately until March 2020. And during this time you have to deal with social pressure, and this is a time when there could be demands for you to find conformity, in a sense, to develop conformity to a group that might feel a little bit like being brainwashed into new social norms. And you could change, of course, social environment because of many reasons. You could move to another town or to another country. You could start studying something and have students there, and you get initiated in some new group dynamics and group processes are taking place. You could join an organization, or you could join some society of some sort which requires a certain level of conformity from your part. And there could be a tension between your personal identity and the social requirements and social pressure that you will have to deal with and adjust to. And therefore you have to handle this tension responsibly, because this could lead to consequences, because you will feel criticized a little bit easier. So some of you might not like that social pressure and might start acting out, like you will feel rebellious against it. Maybe because it's a different culture, or because you believe that everyone is so afraid and inhibited, or because you simply don't like the environment or the pressure, or other people pressuring you to form you into something that you are not used to. And some of you might go another way and develop a lot of issues, feeling inadequate, like feeling different, feeling like you can never live up to other people's expectations. And the solution is actually to find some kind of balance, not losing yourself, but not forgetting who you are either, and not acting out, of course, because there could be social punishments, marginalizations, and things like that. And you could also need to deal with losing friends. As I said, maybe you change environment, or friends letting you down, or feeling that people don't accept you as they used to, or maybe you change environment and you do change as a person because you meet other people and conform to other norms, or you learn new things and you are different, and then you go back and meet your friends again, and they disapprove of you because you have changed, you are not the same anymore. It could happen also because of jealousy. Maybe you are at the university now, or you got a great job in a company, and or you are working for government, or something that changes you, your social image and so on, but you still love your friends, your old friends, and you when you meet them, they are all distant. They complain about you and how you have changed and so on. So it can be difficult for you to find that type of balance in your life between being who you are and not hampering or going back in your development, of course, and also somehow pleasing others. And it can prove so difficult, you know, especially when you deal with other people. It's the most difficult thing in life, I believe. You know, this tension between having to adjust to society and social norms and other people's expectations and the um, requirements of you, and also at the same time you know, being able to be yourself or to go after your personal goals, and feeling free in that sense. So the important thing is not to lash out, to act out, to be too rebellious, but to find kind of a wise balance in relationships with others. And it's something that you can I'm sorry, you can learn with time. I'd really love to do this video again, but I'm a little bit tired now, and it's the last video about Saturn, so I'm really sorry that I sneezed. So this is a transit that has to do with your social identity in conflict with a personal identity, and it's a time when you can feel judged by others by for being who you are, for and so on, you know. So it feels maybe sometimes like you can never live up to other people's expectations, and you cannot be really yourself either. So but in general, it's also good with Saturn in the 11th house to be a little bit careful whom you hang out with as well, where you hang out with, who is speaking about you. The good part about this transit could be, though, a lot of networking because of business or other reasons, you know, like finding some kind of platform where you can really cooperate and organize yourself with others, or because of work, you know, like establishing some kind of network because of work, you know, where people of the same interest or in the same field are really cooperating seriously with others. So this is the positive about this transit. But at the same time, there is always this struggle, maybe a little bit, with feeling alone in some sense, or having to keep also to find yourself in relationships that are more business-like than relationships. Maybe you have a lot of people around you, let's say, but you only discuss business, or you only discuss studies, and things like that. And you could also feel easily judged. So, but it depends a lot also on the situation, and on how you manage to deal with the whole thing. And Saturn is difficult usually because we are not really used to Saturn's energy in a certain house, because Saturn spends 2.5 years usually in a house, but we experience the energy in that particular house only every 30 years or so. So it's not like Mars or Venus or Mercury that we are really used to that transit and we get the hang of it and we learn to handle it, because you know, like Venus only spends 1 month in a sign, and Mars 2 months, Mercury a couple of weeks, the Moon a couple of days, the Sun a month, and so on. So we are used to these energies, but Saturn only transits a certain house every 30 years. And it's always difficult to handle, and we experience a Saturn transit through the 11th house, let's say maybe twice or 3 times, if we are lucky and live that long, during a lifetime. And we therefore these transits are quite difficult. If it's a Saturn return for you, it could prove more impactful and more important, but even so, every Saturn transit has their risks and challenges and so on. But the good thing is to know what to expect and what to work on and what to be careful with. So in your case, it's always about finding a balance between your personal identity, your social identity, adjusting as well as you can to change, and coping with the fact that maybe friendships become a little bit more strained or difficult, friends becoming critical, and not hanging out with bad people or people that you don't know properly. Don't be too naive about who you meet and who you hang out with and so on. And it could happen that some friends, or you feel that some friends let you down a little bit, and you could even have some disappointment when it comes to a friend or two and so on. So, but in general, it's also good not to lash out, act out too much, and to be too rebellious just because you are so fed up with all the expectations and everything else, but to try to keep calm and cool, and because this transit won't last forever. And you could actually learn a lot also during this transit on how to be formal and friendly at the same time, and how to deal with sometimes maybe even rejection, or with formal environments, or how to keep a balance between your personal self and the social self, and so on. And until November 8th, 2018, there will be a sextile to Jupiter in Scorpio in your 9th house, and some of you might indeed network with a lot of people and even have international contacts with people. Could be because of many reasons. Could be because of work or because of studies. If you are studying, you might have a lot of exchange students there, or you might even study in another country, or maybe you study online even, or connect with people online, or but you could establish some kind of network of people with whom you can cooperate because you have a purpose. And in this sense, Saturn is very good there, because you can really get serious about whatever the job is about, or whatever the goal is, or the purpose. And there will also be a trine to Uranus in your 3rd house of communication, because Uranus will eventually move into Taurus. And so there will be a lot of interesting communication, many new contacts, many new people entering your life during this transit. And maybe some unusual contacts, stimulating conversations with people, and a lot of new insights. And you can thanks to Uranus also come up with something original yourself, because Uranus is also about originality. So I wish you a great transit of Saturn through Capricorn. Thank you for watching.